Welcome back. Thank you for joining me, and let's get straight to our stories. Story 1. Opie writes, I, 16 female, grew up without a father. For a long time, it was just me and my mom. Last year, my mom got married to my stepdad, Brad. Brad has 2 kids, Tessa, female 26, and Jake, male 18. My dad passed away shortly after I was born, leaving my mom in mountains of debt. The one thing she refused to sell was her wedding dress. She always talked about how it was a dream for me to get married, wearing her dress or at least her veil. It's a gorgeous, simple white dress with a long lace veil. My dad had the dress handmade and designed for my mom before their wedding. When my mom remarried, she still refused to sell the dress and got a new dress for her wedding to Brad. She always talks about that dress being mine. Tessa got engaged last week. She was so excited to show off her ring and talk about her wedding plans. Tessa knows how much the dress means to me. So while talking about her wedding with my mom and Brad, she threw out the idea of wearing the dress my mom saved for me at her wedding, 'cause, quote, it'll save us so much money, unquote. My mom brought up the fact that she wasn't comfortable with that, since she was saving the dress for me. But Brad said my mom should agree, since she now has 2 wedding dresses and I can wear the other one. Tessa also pointed out that the dress would need so many alterations to even fit me, since I'm much shorter than my mom and I'm not as thin as my mom. Tessa also said it would be years before I'd need it, so it wasn't going to be an issue. My mom was on the fence about it, but Brad was all for it and pulled the dress out of storage and handed it to Tessa. I freaked out and grabbed the dress out of her hands. I told her she wasn't allowed to wear my mom's dress and that she can get her own mom's dress all by her own, but she wasn't allowed to wear the dress my mom is saving for me. I locked myself and the dress in my room. All day, my mom has been texting me and coming to the door, asking me to come out and talk to her and Brad. Brad has been calling me spoiled and selfish, saying that I'm acting like a huge brat. I just can't let some stranger wear the only thing of my dad I have left. I feel bad. Tessa is really upset. She's been crying and texting me, asking me to apologize and give her the dress back. I can't tell if I'm in the wrong. Brad and Tessa think I'm being an ass, but my stepbrother and friends agree that I should stand my ground. Well, Opie, I do not think you're the a-hole. I think Brad accusing you of being spoiled and selfish, it sounds more like he's describing himself and his daughter, Tessa. Girl, you've just got to keep on holding onto that dress because it is your dress. It's not Tessa's. I can't believe that she even thinks she has a right to your dress. Let's get some comments. Not the a-hole. It's sentimental to you. And Brad is really over here trying to bully your mom into ignoring your feelings. Someone else comments, why can't she wear the dress your mom married Brad in? And to this Opie replies, she said it's not her style. The dress my mom married Brad in was a mermaid dress with floral details and a short veil. The dress my mom married my dad in was a princess-style gown with no lace or sparkles. Simple white silk with a long lace veil. Let's get a final comment. Not the a-hole. Tessa isn't recognizing the significance the dress holds for you. You don't want just your mom's wedding dress. You want the one your dad bought especially for her. It was promised to you, and that should stand whether or not it would need alterations. Story 2. Opie writes, so my high school friend is getting married next year, and I've been asked to be her maid of honor, which I'm super excited for. I sort of expected her to be a bit of a bridezilla, but we're 7 months out and she's been surprisingly chill. However, in recent months, now that she's looking in the dress, hair and makeup of the bridesmaids, she's been making little hints about my appearance that I'm not too comfortable with. When we first went shopping for bridesmaid dresses, she liked the idea of a super pale sage green for all of the bridesmaids. I've got super pale skin and tend to go with darker colors, so I knew this wasn't going to look good. But whatever, it's her wedding, I'll live. So we tried on a dress in that color and she immediately thinks it looks wrong. It's at this point that her sister says, quote, "It'll look better once she's gotten a tan," unquote. And my friend turns to me and says, quote, "Oh yeah, you're getting a tan," unquote. I've never tanned in my life. I'm prone to skin cancer, so I've never really done sunbathing. And I've always stayed away from fake tan because I feel like there's so little color to my skin that it would turn out orange regardless. I also really like my pale skin. I live in a hot, sunny climate, so it's a relatively unique feature. Luckily, she's changed the color of the bridesmaid dresses, but I don't know if she still wants me to get a fake tan. She and another bridesmaid also mentioned you can get them done super subtly so you don't even notice. But at that point, what is the point of even getting the tan? I also met up with her a few days ago. She showed me a few reference pictures of the hairstyles she wants the bridesmaids in, and it's a long, glamorous ponytail that is not really manageable with the job I've got. I made a joke about how small the ponytail would be on me, and she shot me a sort of hopeful look. I asked if that look meant she wanted me to grow my hair out, and she immediately confirmed it. Again, I like my hair at the length it's at. I only cut it short in the last few months, and I feel that it suits me a lot more than long hair ever did. It sometimes feels like she doesn't want me at her wedding. She wants a photo-ready, me-adjacent person with the unique bits. Not that pale skin or short hair are that unique, toned down. With that being said, I sort of worry that I'm being overdramatic and that these are little things that I should just deal with. I'm a people pleaser by nature, so I'm really torn between not wanting to change these things about me, no matter how temporary, and feeling like I'm being unreasonable. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore my friend. We've been friends since we were kids. And I'm so happy she's found someone she loves. I'm also super excited for the wedding. We're just very, very different people, and our priorities can be pretty different sometimes. So, Reddit, I know you've heard stories like this forever, but is this a fair reaction? Or should I suck it up? Would I be the a-hole? Opie, I think if you feel this uncomfortable with it, then you really need to discuss it with your friend. The whole tan thing, I can hear that this is something you really, really don't want to do, and you shouldn't. So talk to your friend, be honest with her, and you've got to be able to reach a compromise. Let's get some comments. Fair reaction. I wouldn't change anything about myself for a wedding, honestly. I wouldn't even do it for my best friend's wedding. Like, I'm not letting someone fake tan me. If they want me at their wedding, they can have me at their wedding, not an altered version. I think it would feel better if she was asking about these things, but she's kind of demanding, and it's fair to be uncomfortable with that. And someone else comments, not the a-hole. I think it's a very fair reaction. I wouldn't get a fake tan for anything, so I get it. And to have to grow your hair out for months just for a wedding? No. It's one thing to do things for the bride, but not altering your appearance in such a way that you're uncomfortable. And a final comment. Not the a-hole. You can't just expect someone to completely change their appearance, especially if they're not comfortable. Story 3. Opie writes, My husband, 26 male, and I, 25 female, have been together for 7 years, just married on our 7-year anniversary. I regret now to say that I allowed my parents to pay for the wedding. A bit of history. My husband has opened my eyes to the relationship I had with my parents. He felt they didn't respect me as an adult or a wife. He felt they undermined my decision-making skills. They wanted to control everything I did. And at first, I thought this was extreme. I thought I had a great relationship with my mother, who I felt was my best friend. I had an okay relationship with my father, mainly because he worked and still works so much. And on his downtime, he just goes to play golf. My husband also feels they don't like him because of how I've grown and changed. He thinks they believe he changed me and has sort of, quote, taken me, unquote, in a way away from them. Now, I say I regret allowing them to pay for the wedding for several reasons. At the beginning, my husband said he didn't want them to pay because they were going to control everything about it and hold it over our heads. I begged and begged him to go along with it. I promised him they wouldn't do that, and I would fight hard to make sure of it. They proved me wrong. My parents wanted to invite their lifelong friends to the wedding. I said I didn't want them to come because they weren't around for our relationship. I don't have a solid connection with them as much as my parents do. They felt it was wrong and disrespectful to not invite them because of how long they've known them. And they were there from when I was born until I turned 6 and we moved out of state, only to see these people every few years thereafter. This was a battle that I lost, and they were invited and attended. The next reason is similar in regards to a guest. And for this point, I should preface that I did not want any children at the wedding, unless they were immediate family. I have 2 cousins from Puerto Rico. They are brothers, and I've only really been close with one. The other has a son with another woman that he was planning on bringing to the wedding. Come to find out, the baby's mom did not want the son to come, so they decided to bring the girlfriend's son, who is 12. Never met him or the girlfriend and immediately said no. This kid cannot come. My mother felt horrible and kept saying she couldn't sleep, had stomach issues, because she couldn't tell them she messed up. She either didn't realize this 12-year-old was on the flight itinerary or knew he was and wasn't planning on saying anything to me until they came. I told her over and over she needed to fix this. She eventually said okay and said she would talk to them anytime I asked about it. Then she finally said the 12-year-old won't come. The girlfriend's baby, 1-year-old, would come instead. I fought and fought so hard for this baby to not come. My dad texted me basically saying to let it go because my mom was sick over this and it shouldn't be a big deal. I never responded to him. I later found out that the brother told my mother they would not come if he wasn't able to bring the girlfriend's baby. One of my husband's oldest friends ended up not coming because he wasn't able to bring his baby. They aren't on speaking terms now. And I have to bend over backwards now for this baby I don't even know. They end up coming to the pre-wedding party and wedding. The baby decided to cry during the ceremony and my husband had to calm me down as to not cause a scene during our vows. Reception came and my family made no effort to speak with my husband's side of the family or his friends. They never introduced my husband to this baby, girlfriend, or my cousin the whole time. My cousin never said anything to him. None of them said congratulations, no gift or card. Not that it's necessary, but it's a nice gesture. My mom's speech to us wasn't even to us. It was to her mom and sisters who helped her, and I don't even remember what else it was about. The same with my father kind of, his sister and his mother. The only speeches we loved and felt loved from were my bridesmaid, his groomsmen, and his father. His father's speech was the only one that made me cry. My husband always told me his parents view me as their daughter, and his dad finally told that to me directly in his speech. It was lovely. It's been over a month now since the event, and I've hardly spoken to my parents. They have not brought anything up or apologized. They only complain they haven't seen me. My mom, quote, checks in, unquote, every week. But I know it's because on some level she feels guilty, even though I don't think I'll ever get an apology at this point, unless I bring it up to them and explain why we felt the way we did. My husband is afraid for when we have a child. He doesn't feel they'll respect our wishes, and I wholeheartedly agree. I feel like I'm grieving the parents I thought I knew. But through their actions, I've realized this is what they have been my whole life. I've just now come to the realization that I don't want to put their feelings or wants before mine, and they're not okay with that. I'm not sure where we go from here, but I'm not sure we'll get out of limbo anytime soon. Well, OP, one thing I've noticed with these wedding stories, over and over again, they kind of reveal people's true personalities, their motives, and more than a few of them have a way of bringing out the less than pleasant side of people. I'm really sorry that your mom forced you to invite people that you didn't want there. I feel very strongly that people should be allowed to have the kind of wedding they want to have, within reason, of course. And you not wanting babies at the wedding, I think that's very reasonable. Babies do tend to cry in the middle of ceremonies. Hopefully you can fix this with your parents, with your family. Set some firm boundaries and not allow them to cross those boundaries. Let's get some comments. Now that you're building a family and you have a partner that you care about, you start to notice all the effed up things about your family. If you aren't careful, this is when your parents will start to blame your husband when you, quote, change, unquote, aka set boundaries with them. I was in a similar situation. I knew how messed up my mom was, but I didn't think too much about it until a guy I started dating pointed some things out, and now they are hard to ignore. We've been together for 7 years now, and he refuses to even deal with my mom. Anyways, sorry you have to go through this, but your husband is right. If and when you have a child, you're going to have to set strict boundaries with your parents. Your baby shower, etc. will be a reenactment of your wedding. They'll want to control the guest list and the party. You can't let that happen. You pay for it and you make all the decisions. Don't let them get too involved. Boundaries can be scary and hard at first. Don't back down and make sure you follow through on whatever it is you said you'd do when they cross the line. This could take years for your parents to accept, and also you'll need to accept that they aren't going to be the parents you wish them to be. Good luck. OP replies, thank you for your response. Yes, setting boundaries is going to be so hard because I know it won't be received well. I hope they would accept it in order to be in my life and the future grandchildren's lives, but we shall see. Well, that's it for now. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and please leave a comment, and I'll see you again next time.